everyone. Welcome to a new live stream for Nasdaq and SPX. We're gonna see today what's gonna happen. So, hello everyone. All right. Let me turn off. I think I have to turn off the sound. Here we go. All right. Welcome everyone. Bilyak, welcome and good morning for everyone. So I decided on this channel to start making a new live stream every day in the morning for the Nasdaq and the SPX and potentially for some stock markets and special requests for you guys. So we're gonna see what's gonna happen for today. Are we gonna dump or are we gonna pump? So we're gonna see exactly what is the candle that is hiding for us surprises today. We still see some tensions internationally, so let's start a little bit with fundamentals. Just very quick, we had an inflation data yesterday. It was very positive, and we might, of course, questioning right now the interest rate, right? So all the market right now is waiting for the interest rate decision from the FOMC or the Fed. And we're going to see, of course, this is the most impact that we might have, of course, very soon for the interest rate. Yeah, so it is very, very, I would say we have a lot of also data today that we might get as well. We have the Michigan sentiment. It might be volatile a little bit. The PPI also very important. So basically the data yesterday we had is very, very positive. Would this, of course, push the Fed for interest rate to make a cut? Well, nobody knows. Now, the Fed was very stubborn lately and that they don't want to make a cut yet, but nobody knows. If we get surprised, we might see, of course, some very high volatility. Besides the interest rate and the inflation, we still have a lot of tension internationally, right? We still have, of course, even despite the 10% decrease for the tariffs on almost all the countries except China, the tension is escalating. Today, China retaliate as well for 125% on the US market and the products for the tariffs. So we're gonna see what this is gonna affect today. So let's start with the technical analysis. And yes, let's see in the all-time history what we might have today. We have, of course, a 1-2 and then 1-2. We're looking for a wave 3, 4, and a 5 toward the upside. Currently, we are in this wave 5 still, so far in this wave 5, meaning you have a 1-2, potentially 3, and you're looking for a wave 4 and looking for continuation for higher prices. And basically, what you don't want to see is, of course, further continuation toward the downside. Why? Because we are in a very critical level that we have stopped lately here. This is your wave 1. This is a zone 1 that you are entering. If we still see more drops entering this area, this is, of course, signaling a new trend toward the downside. And that means the blue box, which it might, of course, transform this impulse to a correction and moving into an expanding flat corrective wave. For a wave C, hitting, of course, is this blue box, which is anyway the 0.23 fib level for a wave 4 in this yellow scenario here, meaning the wave 4 can simply shift to this side in a longer time ABC, knowing that your wave 2 here in the yellow is a very sharp zigzag. And that, based on Elliott wave theory, of course, you would like to see alternation between the wave 2 and the wave 4. If your wave 2 is very sharp and deep, which it is the case scenario, reaching almost the 0.786 here, that means your wave 4 might be a sideways flat. Now, it is a sideways flat, but at the end, it is a huge move toward the downside regarding what we had already. So Basically, if you are looking for a sideways flat here rather than a zigzag, okay, it's a good alternation, but that would be a lot of damage for the market. So basically, it is very, very possible, I would say, very possible that we move towards the downside in case, as we heard, the fundamentals in the beginning keep the tension high and keep, of course, affecting the US market and the global economy. Now, the most possible scenario is also to finish here as an expanding flat or WXNY, smaller one. That would be much more nicer, unless yeah, if we hit this zone 1, therefore directly you get a bigger pattern to be finished. So let's move inside it a little bit on the daily here. On the daily, we are looking at the following price action, where we said, of course, this might be our biggest correction wave as expanding flat toward the downside, unfolding a wave C as an impulse 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, meaning turning this to something impulsive. It can be kind of like a leading diagonal yeah, possibly it can move to a leading diagonal, by the way, if this is a zigzag. Don't forget that this might play as a wave 1. Yeah. It is true that it is not impulse because it got invalidated, if you remember the last analysis, but it is a zigzag. If it is a zigzag, it might turn into a wave 1 of a leading diagonal, and that means, of course, wave 2, wave 3, 4, and a 5 leading diagonal, finishing wave 1, hitting the recession signal, and then moving for a wave 2, and then 3, 4, and a 5. Finishing wave 1 as leading diagonal, wave 2, 3, 4, 5, hitting the low, finishing this ABC expanding flat. That is massive. That is a massive scenario. So you don't want to see basically this area hit again. This invalidation of bullish, which is a recession signal at 16K, should not be touched unless we're moving toward the downside. On the 4-hour chart, we can see the following scenarios. So exactly inside this level or this pattern, we have 3 wave down, ABC. You got, of course, a W, X, and a Y, very complex structure. As you can see, a lot of overlapping, no impulses, meaning a lot of correction here. We have, of course, 2 scenarios in this area here. The first one is a finished W as a zigzag. Yeah, then you got your X as a bridge in between, and you got another zigzag for a wave Y. Second pattern is, of course, an A, B, C toward the downside, or it can be as well another W, X, and a Y, meaning another zigzag or flat. You got your bridge as a wave X, which I don't like it to take the high normally, and then finishing as a zigzag here. All right, so this is the first possibility as a scenario. Another scenario is, of course, that you take the whole leg here as corrective, which is most case scenario correction, but this is a little bit different scenario, that you might have finished a wave B exactly here. Okay, very complex structure. It can be even W, X, Y, X, and a Z. Yeah, you have triple zigzag. Here we go. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, matching 3 zigzag with X's as a bridges, and of course finishing W, X, Y, X, and a Z. Very complex structure. Finishing wave B, meaning A, B, and a C toward the downside. In this case scenario, you are looking for a wave C right now, that it might be finishing, as we said, of course, it can be a leading diagonal. If it is not an ABC or a big W, X, and a Y, W, X, and a Y, therefore you finished here as a zigzag for a wave Y. Well, another scenario, as we said, ABC, is that your wave C forming kind of like a zigzag for a wave 1, meaning now you're working on a wave 2 as a leading diagonal. I'm going to label this, by the way. So what if this is a wave 1 as well? You're looking for a wave 2, 3, 4, and a 5. And that means, of course, a leading diagonal in this shape. Here we go. This is also a possibility. Beside the C, beside the Y, it can be a wave 1, meaning the wave C can of course be finishing over there. Yeah, so also possible. In this case scenario, you are looking for this path. So zigzag for a wave 1, you're looking for a zigzag for a wave 2, and then again another zigzag for the wave 3, zigzag for the wave 4, and then of course zigzag for the wave 5. All of this should be of course in red. We're looking toward the downside. This is a 3, this is a 4, this is a 5, finishing wave C. A, B, and a C, right? Can be, nobody knows. Now inside this area, if this is a wave 2, let's move inside it. If this is a wave 2, you would like to see a correction wave here. So you would like to see A, B, C, or 3 waves toward the upside, and then 3 waves down, and finishing with an impulse for a wave C. Yeah. So it can be even, of course, this is only a pass drawn, guys. It can be, of course, finishing faster than this. Yeah, it can be the wave 2 somewhere here. And of course, yeah, we're gonna rearrange this later on based on the price action, but this, you got the idea. So basically, if this is a wave 1 and you're looking at a 3 corrective waves right now, you're looking for another 3 corrective waves, and of course finishing a wave C toward the upside. This is now the next possible scenario. Diving deeper on the 15-minute chart for the micros, for this scenario, let me just arrange this in the daily. Here we go. In this scenario, we have hit right now the 1.27 taken from this move toward the upside based on this wave 2, in case you are in an impulse, because this looks like impulsive. You have hit the 1.27. All right. If this is your wave 3, you have merged again or interfered again with the zone 1, meaning invalidation of the impulse, turning it into, of course, a corrective wave. And already mentioned this. Let's zoom in. I already mentioned this, that this is corrective move towards the upside. It's not an impulse. You cannot see 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Even your wave 5 is truncated here. You did not take the high. This point is higher than this one. Truncation means anyway failure to take the high, meaning weakness. And here we go. Merging again even toward the downside, in case you are in 1, 2, 1, 2, and then 3, you're looking for 4, 5, 4, 5. Well, invalidated directly in the zone 1, turning into an A, B, and a C, definitely corrective. When you are corrective after a trend toward the downside, you have to follow the trend, right? Our trend is right now toward the downside. Having a correction after the trend toward the downside, meaning finishing a correction, continuation toward the downside. Very simple, right? Not too much to think about it. This is the thing. If we move inside this wave right now, where we have invalidated this impulse and we are corrective, are we moving already toward the downside? Let's check. On the 1 hour chart, we are looking at a definitely kind of like impulsive wave. Let's move a little bit even closer on the 50-minute chart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wave 1, 2, 3, shorter than wave 1. 4 and a 5, longer than wave 3. No impulse. It is not an impulse, because you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for wave 1, wave 2. Wave 3 is shorter than your wave 1 and shorter than your wave 5. Invalidation of this impulse. And that means, of course, you are corrective. If we are corrective here, you have to consider A, B, and a C toward the downside. Your impulse is over there. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Your wave 3 is longer than the wave 1. However, yeah, sorry, we cannot take it here. 1 second. Oh, yeah, it is higher here. Sorry, I thought that this is higher than. So we have to consider 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Here we go. Okay. And this, of course, might, yeah, if this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, well, even I don't like it. It can be even W, X, and Y, guys. Because it might be that this, of course, shorter again from the wave 1, shorter than the wave 5. Meaning this is corrective. Whatever it is, WXY or ABC, it doesn't matter. It is corrective. Okay, 3-wave corrective. We're looking again here at something else unfolding as a correction potentially. You would like to see, of course, if you are in a leading diagonal, you would like to see the wave 5 taking the high. Okay, this might be, of course, a bullish scenario. And if we are corrective as ABC here, potentially you would like to continue toward the downside. Basically, in a bigger overview, we said we are corrective, so we're looking for lower sooner or later. And what does it mean? Sooner is, of course, moving directly toward the downside, coming back to the blue box. Later, meaning bullish scenario, a little bit, not bullish scenario, actually, it is just a trend, bullish trend, which is, of course, can be a leading diagonal as a wave 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5, only to finish this 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 for a wave C. Meaning A, B, and a C, you might be in a wave 5 for a wave C. That's it. But no more, guys. So think about it. If you are in a trend toward the downside, you are mainly corrective, you want to see move towards the downside sooner or later, right? Therefore, I would say, of course, it is very risky even to think about this simple move toward the upside, even if it's going to take place, right? No financial advice, of course, but this is how I think in a strategy. Higher potential is for the bearish and not for the bullish. So that was it for Nasdaq. Let's see the SPX. Is it gonna be in aligning as well with our analysis? So let's start a little bit also from the all-time history. Let's go to the 2 weeks. Okay. Currently, we are in a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. You are in a wave 3 here in a blue scenario, ABC for a wave 4. So we are in a wave 5. Okay, we are in a wave 5 for the blue scenario. In this blue scenario, we are looking at a potential 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. However, in this area, okay, it is very obvious that this is an impulse for a 1, 2, right? But what's happening here, okay, it was supposed to be, of course, a wave 3. You got your big wave 1, 2, and then you were directly moving for a wave 3 inside the blue box until, of course, everything globally has started the tension, of course, and start, of course, turning this into a correction, right? If we move inside it, on the daily chart, on the daily, we can see that, okay, we were, as we said, we were expecting that this might be, of course, a 1, 2 here, and 1, 2, and you're expecting, of course, continuation towards the upside. This is your wave 3 that it was unfolding as potential 1, 2, again 1, 2, and a wave 3, and then you are in a wave 4 right now looking at it. So we have 1, 2, 3, A, B, and a C for a wave 4. And then moving for a wave 5 to finish a wave 3 in the yellow scenario between the perfect targets 1.618, 1.0 and 0.618 for a wave 5, taken, of course, from this wave 1, exactly, yes, wave 1, yeah, wave 1, and based on the wave 3. So our target was here. Of course, we started the trade war and everything. Now we hit the 0.5 fib level, which is a perfect fib level for a wave 4, taken, of course, from this wave 2, as you can see here, based, of course, on the top, and we have hit the 0.5. All right, that's perfect. Now, if we see also a confluence between this expanding flat for a wave A and then B and a C here, let's get the wave C for an expanding flat, you will see that we have overpassed those fib level. It was supposed to be a running flat, actually, as an A, B, and a C, finishing running flat because, you know, a wave V was very overshooting here, and that was the idea. It was a wave 3 and interrupted, right? So it was supposed to finish in a running flat, meaning failing to take the low. But of course, the market is even stronger than that. It has continued as 1, 2, 3, and currently we are in a wave 4 and a 5. So I would say that the wave, that the SPX is showing even much more intense price action. Why? Because the SPX is showing a very clear impulse towards the downside, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, while the Nasdaq is a big zigzag towards the downside, which it might transform, of course, as a wave 1 for a leading diagonal. But the SPX is much more clearer. If we dive inside this area, we are looking at the following price action. We are, of course, in this wave 4, which it might finish, of course, as WXY. Let me explain. So, in this area, welcome Camel Blue. Thank you, man. You're very welcome, always. So, guys, inside this area, we're looking at an A, B, and a C potential. Of course, expanding flat because you're looking at an impulse for a wave C, higher potential, right, to be an expanding flat. Or you're looking for a W, X, and a Y. This would be your reversal. Why I keep the WXY? Because I keep an option for a reversal towards the upside. Of course, always think bullish and bearish, guys. Therefore, of course, in case we are WX and Y, you finish 3 wave structures and you're looking for higher. Now, the answer for this scenario is exactly in this area. If we move inside it, let's move 1 hour chart, zoom in. Inside this area, we are in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for a wave 1 in the magenta here. You have ABC for a wave 2 in the magenta. You're looking at a massive wave 3 towards the downside, right? Which can be, of course, the wave C later on. And right now, you are looking at an ABC potentially for higher, that because, of course, the invalidation of any kind of an impulse. If you are in 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, you would like to see the 4 finishing over the wave 1. But this is not the case scenario. We see the price moving towards the downside, interfering with the zone 1, invalidation of any kind of impulse, meaning no reversal, guys. Plus, another signal that we are still in bearish is you did not touch the 5,489, which is invalidation of this impulse toward the downside. You would like to see 1, 2, 3, 4 interfering with the zone 1. However, take a look at this price action. Here we go. Look at this gap. Not touched yet. You need to touch this line 100% to say, okay, this is invalidated, or this impulse towards the downside is invalidated. But this, again, is not the case scenario. We're still looking for lower. Let's move inside it. Potentially here you have a 3 waves toward the downside. Correctively, after 3 waves up, potentially 3 waves down. I would say that this looks like a leading diagonal to finish a wave C, meaning potentially you are in an A, B, and a C. Yeah? But if we are in a wave C here and you're still looking for a wave 5, well, we have to be careful because the wave 5 might touch this yellow line. So that would be, again, another signal that, okay, the things might cool down or calm down a little bit and not taking the low anymore. It might range sideways. It might create other 3 waves toward the downside and another 5 waves up, but it might not take the low. This is the idea. Plus, I don't see yet, of course, a bullish scenario unless, of course, we're gonna create a 1, a 2, 3, 4, and a 5. And that's why I was saying if we touch this yellow line, it might try to start, of course, reverse to this kind of sideways ranging, but it might be, of course, a leading diagonal. Yeah, so this is what I see for the bullish, meaning finishing wave 1 here, and then wave 2, then 3, 4, and a 5. This might turn into bullish, of course, but it's gonna need a lot of time, a lot of range, a lot of zigzags, up and downs, and because of the tension in the market, this is exactly what Elliott wave reflects. It tells us, of course, if we are moving in a kind of like overlapping waves, it means of course a lot of volatility, a lot of tension in the market, but still might of course tend to be bullish at the end, meaning transforming to a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Yep. So in case we don't touch this yellow line, this is your answer, guys. Moving, of course, toward the downside. Touching this yellow line is very essential to say, okay, potentially we're not taking the low anymore. Okay, we're moving into sideways or into leading diagonal kind of, and then moving toward the upside. But it's gonna need a time, guys. That is nothing like it's gonna move directly, especially after this tension internationally. Yeah, so these are the insights. Nasdaq can do the same, by the way. I think I didn't mention this on Nasdaq. Can do the same. Don't forget this. Since we are in a zigzag for Nasdaq here, with this move toward the downside, and we're looking for a 3 corrective waves. Now, what if we don't take this low anymore because we are already in 3 corrective waves? That is no impulse. That is no 4 and a 5, guys. Meaning, if you are looking for lower here, you're looking for 3 waves down, 3 waves up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, of course, to hit later on. Yeah. Unless it hits directly right now after those 3 waves. It depends, of course, on the news, guys, as well. So trade safe. It's very risky, of course, always. Right now. So 3 waves up, continuation toward the downside, as we said. Is it possible? Well, I don't know what they will explode for us today as news. It depends, yes, of course. But the scenario of the bullish here can be, of course, the same as the SPX, aligning with it. You have a zigzag, which it can play as a wave 1 for a leading diagonal. Based on the volatility of the news, 3, 4, and a 5, finishing a leading diagonal, finishing a wave 1, then a wave 2, then a wave 3, explosion toward the upside. So this is what we are expecting as well as bullish. But of course, don't forget that this might take time. This might take a lot of nerves from us, a lot of patience, and of course, trade safe, guys. So it's gonna be very volatile for the next weeks, I would say. Yep, so this is my reading for the US market today. And basically, if we are looking in both case scenarios, guys, if you are looking to finish an ABC, you have a potential one more leg towards the upside, but it's gonna finish only a wave C. Meaning at both case scenarios, you're moving towards the downside from here or directly from here. Okay. This is what I see, of course, for the market right now. And if you want a much more clue, if we move in the 15-minute chart, I don't see any bullish scenario yet. It means like it's not confirmed even this wave towards the upside. If you want to confirm this wave towards the upside, you would like to see here after this impulse here, you would like to see ABC zigzag, which is nice. Yeah, so it looks like so far still working on it. Yeah, so maybe with the market opening in 30 minutes right now, we might see, of course, a move towards the upside for a zigzag here, which it might finish, of course, a leading diagonal. Very, very possible, guys. Since you have a zigzag here, correction, zigzag, correction, zigzag. Yeah, so these are, Biliak, Nasdaq, don't really worth to risk now. Yeah, definitely, of course, yes. Of course, man, of course. It's very risky. It's very volatile, guys. And today we have some news. So the news are coming at directly after opening the market in 30 minutes. Yeah, so be careful as well. We might be very volatile today. A quick overview for Tesla and Nvidia, but I'm gonna be very fast with it because I'm gonna potentially do a new videos for it today to see after this price action. But basically what to expect today, well, Tesla is still moving towards the downside, guys. Don't forget, we're still in an impulse 1212. and you're looking here inside the wave 3 at double 1 2 as well, 3 4 5 a 4 and a 5. Potentially you're gonna finish this wave 5 in an ending diagonal. I'm gonna dive deeper, of course, in the video today with Tesla, but I need some price action here to see. Yeah, so if we are in a wave 1 here for a wave 5, meaning your wave 2 is of course moving as a zigzag, potentially we move towards the downside there for today. Yeah, so the wave 5 is not finished yet here. This is a wave 5 here. Yeah. 3 4 and a 5 exactly. Yeah, to finish a wave 5 in the yellow later on and finishing with it a wave 3. Here we go. So very yeah, very tense price for the Tesla. Yeah, we have a double 1 2, meaning you still of course even have a wave 3 in the magenta 4 and a 5 toward the downside. Yeah, it's a very massive drop. Yeah, so I'm gonna dive also in the daily with it today in the video. Nvidia, let's see just a quick overview for the Nvidia. We are on the daily. Well, Nvidia is looking fine. I would say, yeah, it's looking fine. It's not so bad. Yeah, it's not so bad like Tesla, or even it's not reflecting so much Nasdaq. I mean, we already saw some drop like this before. Yeah, it's not that big deal, but still, of course, a drop. I mean, we saw some drop before. Here we go. So in Nvidia, which is much more massive actually than now. So basically in Nvidia, I see a finished structure, to be honest. I see a finished structure, corrective structure, and still looking for higher. Now, is it gonna look for higher directly right now? Of course not. Yeah. Don't forget that it might move with the same path of Nasdaq and SPX as a leading diagonal. Yeah, so 1 2 and then 3 4 5 towards the upside potentially. This is what I see as well for Nasdaq, but I think I don't see any more drops, to be honest. This is the blue zone that we were expecting and hit perfectly and retraced directly from it a very long wick, very nice one, and then moving to the upside potentially. Yep, so that was it for the stock market, guys. Thank you for watching, and thank you for your likes and comments. And of course, see you in the next videos today. I wish you to have a nice trading day. Bye-bye.